Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Casey again, and we are all here to talk about fragrances. I thought, what better to talk about? I bet you can see the bottle by now and you probably guessed what it is. This is the fragrance that people have never stopped chatting about. This is the famous Khamrah. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This is the one that started my fragrance journey. I believe this was the first Lattafa I bought, the first like Middle Eastern fragrance I bought, and oh my gosh, I've loved it ever since. Now, unfortunately, my my collection has gotten so big, so you can actually see the dent is not as big as it should be, but I always take that as a good sign, especially when big fragrance collectors really show there is not much of a dent in their favorite fragrance, because what that tells you, it tells me personally two things. It tells me that this is strong, and then second of all, it tells me that, you know what, like they still think this is special. And what I mean by that is they're not just gonna wear it everywhere and anywhere. They want a certain mood, and that's how much they love it. So to me, that's always like a really, really good sign. Like I feel like whenever I see a big fragrance collector like talk about their dentist down here, I'm like, that fragrance does not last. Yeah. And you guys know how I feel about that. So this fragrance, I believe I got it sometime in 2023, or was it like, yeah, I think it was late 2022 or 2023. I don't even remember when this fragrance was made. I'm so sorry, guys. My normal location is like not working today. So I have my chair and my laps, so you might see me looking down at my iPad. But yeah, I can't really tell when this fragrance came out. Actually, yes, it was launched in 2022, and I believe December 2022 is when I wore it. And I can tell you a story. You guys know I love a good story when it starts to a fragrance. The first time I wore this, my friends couldn't stop. And I had only had it for less than a month at that stage, and you know what that already says. It hadn't matured, it hadn't gotten to its full strength. And I think I sprayed something like 10 sprays, but like this is one of those fragrances to me, especially in wintertime, is not cloying. And down here, like degrees get like 0 degrees, like maybe -5 max. But like to me, I wore it. It didn't feel cloying after 10 sprays. In fact, I was kind of like, I don't know if anybody can still smell it, sorry. So drenched myself, left. By the time I was there, I think it was 3 hours. My friends couldn't get enough. They couldn't get enough. We went to another party that night. I didn't even bring it to Spritz. People were going crazy in the club. You know what it is when people are getting crazy in the club, because it means that if you can still smell me through all the sweaty bodies and all the humidity, this is all you need. This is all you need. So yes, this is everything. So when this first came out, everybody was talking about how this was quite similar to Angel Share. And I think we can all agree now that this is not close to Angel Share at all. But I still feel like it does Angel Share's legacy right. Hear me out. So let's just talk about the notes first of all. So we have here some cinnamon, some nutmeg, and some bergamot in the opening. And then we have some dates, some pralines, some tuberose, and some mahonio. And the base notes, then we have vanilla, tonka bean, amberwood, myrrh, benzoin, and then some akigala wood. So this is actually, over the years, people have said it actually smells like Kissa Sava, which I have never personally smelled, but I imagine this will be a baby compared to that beast, because we all know about Kissa fragrances, like they are crazy. But I don't know that I'll ever be tempted to get Kissa Sava. I would get it just for the sake of having the name, and I really want the collection in my collection. But I feel like I would have to finish Khamrah before I go and, you know, pull out the big guns. And I don't know how long that's gonna be. I think it's gonna take me quite a long time, unfortunately. So this opens up. So when you, I'm gonna do that darn thing that I always do. I forgot to get my sprayer, my blotters. But yeah, so this opens up with some cinnamon, some nutmeg, and some bergamot. you can definitely smell the cinnamon. It smells so like apple pie-ish cinnamon, like so Christmassy, like pumpkin pie. And the bergamot is there, but it almost like balances off the sweetness. And first, when I saw the notes, actually reading, I was like, is there bergamot? But the bergamot really gives it the apple that's in there, which we'll talk about. It gives it like there's no apple. It smells like it has apple. But maybe that's what it gives it, an apple feel. But like, it smells like it has apple for sure. But when you smell it, it smells, because it has bergamot, it smells like, you know, those green, I forgot, those green apples you cook with, the gramples? Yeah, the gramples, I think, I don't know. But you know exactly what I mean. Those ones that are nasty to bite into because they're so bitter and sour, but they're really good for baking pies. That's what you can kind of feel like the breaking of the skin and that greenness on immediately when you smell it. Now, even though they say they don't have apples, I'm imagining they're saying that the dates are giving it that apple texture, but I completely disagree. Because the dates would be much sweeter than this, you know, but this is it's a fresher, like when you look at these notes, there's a bit of freshness in there. And that's definitely the bergamot, but the dates are not heavy and dewy and syrupy. And the praline is almost giving it that sweet, smooth, caramelish texture. But that date, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like I really do not, like the date doesn't translate how you would imagine it to smell. Well, to me anyway. And then they say we have some tuberose and some mahonial. I don't know what mahonial smells like, but tuberose, no, I don't really even smell the tuberose. But I guess you could say it gives it like a bit of texture, like a kind of fluffiness, like a kind of airiness. Not to say the fragrance is fluffy, but I feel like the bergamot and the tuberose are what's stopping it from becoming absolutely dense and a syrup beast. Because this is not what this is. And then in the base you have some vanilla, some tonka, some amber wood, some myrrh, some benzoin, and some akagala wood. The benzoin gives it kind of like this amber feel, like it's beautiful, like this amber feel. And so does the myrrh, but the myrrh is not like the typical heavy myrrh. This is almost in the background. Like I can tell you now, the akagala wood, the myrrh, and the amber wood are so far in the back that you wouldn't even think of them, but like it's what rounds this off. I really feel like it's the invisible notes that actually round this fragrance off. Now, back to school. We all know that this does not smell anything like Angel Share. Well, not anything. If Angel Share and this were sisters, Angel Share is the sister that sneaks out and does not show up in the house until 4 o'clock. And you know what? She actually doesn't care if the parents find out. She will be walking past them as they're waiting for her. No second thought. This is the girl that is opening the window to say, no, we don't have to stress our parents out. I'll open the window. I'll make sure I sneak up some lunch, some dinner for you so that in the morning, like after your party, you don't have to go to sleep drunk as hell. At least you have a bit of dinner. That's that sister. This is like the sweet sister that you know has been through a couple of things. You know, she doesn't smell like the cognac. She doesn't have that like party vibe in her. But you can tell, like this is the older sister, you can tell has lived a life. You know, she might not say what that life was, but you know that. It's an absolute favorite. For me, this is like 12 hours plus, like put it on your clothes, it'll last until the next day. And it's definitely gotten much stronger than it did that time. Now I spray maybe 6 sprays because I know the potential of this fragrance, and it's gotten much darker than when it ever was first here. And it's been almost a year and a half, actually 2 years around this time. So yeah, this was a definite love and continues to be a love in my fragrance collection. I do not see it being replaced. I will say I have a fragrance that I got to actually resemble Angel Share. What was it? Royal Blends. I did a review of it here. And I have to say, it does not get the opening as well as this kind of does. Now, of course, that has that has a cognac, but this has this green apple tinge that immediately kicks in from Angel Share, I feel, that Royal Blends just doesn't quite have. It doesn't have that opening. But once they settle down, these are completely different. But to me, I am still happy with the fact that this replaced Angel Share in my collection. You know, I feel like this is much more wearable. You don't have to worry about the cognac. In fact, you can wear this in work and you wouldn't have to think that, you know, people think that you had a bit of alcohol, a couple of shots. I don't know, like it's a darn